So this is a story of Anna, and it's told in 4 chapters. Chapter 1, struck by inspiration. So we have our psychologist, Anna, who's looking at the cognitive times, and she's looking at YouTube videos of some topics of interest to her, as well as playing around with some of the code, interactive code, playing with some of the data, and suddenly she's struck by inspiration. She's like, oh man, I've got this great idea. So she prepares a pre-analysis plan, and that's registered with a community repository. Sigmund comes along, and he looks at the pre-analysis plan because he's notified from the repository, and Sigmund says, hey, you maybe want to change this. So Anna updates her pre-analysis plan, so now it's even better, right? So there's this idea of iteration. So based on the pre-analysis plan, Anna starts to put together her protocol. And it's going to be like putting together almost like Lego bricks. So she's borrowing some of the stuff that she saw in the videos and the data that she was looking at when she got her inspiration. She goes to a registry of pre-built protocols that she can assemble into her protocol and make one big protocol just by assembling things together, plus some of her own good ideas. So that's chapter 1. She constructed her protocol. Now she's going to go to chapter 2, over here, the protocol enactment factory. So in the protocol enactment factory, she gives it to the factory, and part of the factory is actually patient recruitment, so recruitment of participants in her protocol, but also to address this problem with ethics, right? Getting approval. There's an on-demand ethics board, right? You want ethics approval, there comes the board, right? And so while this is getting processed, her protocol is getting analyzed, there's a community live stream. So the community can come in, check out what you're doing, transparency. So this is something that came up in our discussions, that we really want this idea of liveness, always being able to see what's going on and being able to comment as well. So the community live stream. And of course, because this is all virtualized, right? Either in silico or in automated labs, Anna can be chilling out on the beach with her mobile phone, just checking in what's going on, and maybe actually steering the experiment as it goes, if that's something that she could do. So out of the protocol enactment factory comes metadata, data, and also models. And those models go through the kind of toll booth of registration, right? So the toll booth registers it and says to other people, hey, it's available, and it's now got a permanent identifier. Great. All those pieces of material go into a permanent repository where they can be accessed by Anna for doing more stuff or by anybody else in the community. That information then goes into our 3rd chapter of the story of Anna. It's the dissemination cloud of openness. So in the dissemination cloud of openness, Anna is producing all sorts of different kinds of artifacts and outputs or narrative, right? So she may produce cool YouTube videos or presentations, and that should be just a perfectly acceptable piece of output. Maybe charts, graphs, analytical results, maybe actually some text, like a blog post or something, or some videos or photos, things like that. So any kind of different artifact that she might want to produce. But as she's producing those pieces of narrative, those dissemination, there's both the community commenting on it, giving her feedback, but also intelligent agents or robots coming along giving suggestions as well, and Anna can update her narrative outputs. So Claudia, the curator, who's responsible for the cognitive times, which Anna was reading, comes along and says, hey, this piece of narrative that you've produced is cool. I'm going to curate that into my environment where other people in her area, of Anna's area of psychology read, right, or look at. So everything gets disseminated, all is open, fantastic. So the final chapter is what happens when things go wrong. Right? So this is chapter, what was the name of chapter 4? We have, oh yeah.
The pool party, isn't it? Or
It's the problem party.
Oh, the pool.
Chapter 4 is the problem party. So our friend Sigmund shows up and, oh my god, there's a bug. There's something that went wrong in your protocol factory that I discovered. Oh, that's no good. But Anna's like, oh, that's awesome. Let's have a problem party. So she goes with her open source community. They go, have some fireworks, drink, yes, we found this bug, and then the open source community quashes the bug, right? Fixes it, and that's fed back into the protocol factory, which re-executes everything, redoes the experiment, or at least modifies it, such that you get a better result out. So in the end, everybody's happy. You see the future vision of how we do scholarship. There we go. This is our idea.